Hey, welcome back this week to the Forward Podcast. We're so glad you joined us. I'm here with my co-host, the usual.
It's me. I'm back. It's Thomas.
Oh, that's right. You
And
were
here-
out last week.
No, I was here.
Oh,
it was
no,
the week
2
before.
weeks ago.
It was
Oh,
the week
man,
before.
yeah.
Y'all,
Sorry.
if you're watching this via YouTube, number one, we have to hold mics tonight because I haven't had time really to mess with us hooking these new ones up. Last week, it was not great audio quality at all. And then, as you can see, again, if you're watching YouTube in the background, we have different color paints on the walls. Our couches are all squeezed in. Our house is under construction right now. And so we're in a mess over here. But we are still recording.
Yeah.
That's how much we
We're
love y'all.
still here.
I mean, can you imagine how much we love this podcast,
I
that we're
know.
still recording in the middle of the night? We're both very tired.
Yes.
And yet,
I didn't even make me a coffee and I need to.
well, not now. We're sleeping now.
It's Friday. We can stay up all night if we have to.
Well, Kara, last week we really began to talk about complaining, and especially in the life of a spouse, and then also the life of a child. And so we kind of went back and forth, and kind of want to knock this out tonight, really looking at the cost of complaining, looking this part 2. And we've got really kind of 3 subpoints in that. Kind of our main focus this evening is what complaining will do in the life of especially a Christian. It definitely can be hurt, and you can live very much in a negativity or a negative kind of lifestyle, and that could affect you in a great way.
Yeah. I think too, it's so important to remember that I always think of the verse when I really want to complain, like, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. And just to live a thankful life, you really can't be a complainer. And it's not that you never have a complaint, and we're supposed to take our complaints to the Lord, but I think there's a difference between occasionally, you're having a rough time or being a chronic complainer. I think there's a big difference. So just starting out with thankfulness, and like, to me, that's kind of the basis of all this is when you're thankful, it's hard to be a complainer. And when you're a complainer, it's really hard to live a thankful life. So we jotted out a few notes here. And the first one is complaining clouds our perspective. And it definitely does. It magnifies problems over solutions. It gets us to the point where that's all we can see. I heard a close friend yesterday say, she was talking about, this person she's counseling, and she said she's just stuck in a loop. And I thought, that's so true. That's what our brains do. We get in a loop, and all we can see is the bad and the problems and the issues. And when you teach your brain to think along those lines, and when you teach your brain, this is what matters to me, it's going to keep kicking that out. It's going to keep feeding you those negative thoughts, because that's, you're not fighting it. You're not creating new pathways in your brain and your mind to overcome those negative thoughts. And so that complaining, it just keeps clouding us over and over again until that's all we can see. That's it.
Yeah, and perspective is huge, Kara, because I do feel like if we're not careful, we miss the good in life. I feel, I don't know if you've ever felt this way on the podcast, but I feel a little bit hypocritical, just because it's not been the best of weeks for me personally. And it's kind of one of these subjects of like, wow, I really need to practice what I preach. I've been a little
It is ironic
complaining.
we had this one planned for this week.
I know, yeah. And we should have finished it out last week, because it's been a tough week.
Yeah, it has. We've wanted to complain a lot this week.
I have. Personally,
You have complained?
I've complained. Yes, I have. I've complained to everyone about you. And you're going to... No, I do. If we're not careful, that perspective, like you're talking about, really does kick in, because we can live so much in this world of, man, this isn't going right. This went wrong. Life's not fair. Why does this always happen to me? That when we begin to live that loop over and over, we really miss God's blessings. We miss the good in life, the happy, the joyful, even the circumstantial or circumstances in our life that should be good. We miss because it's always looking at the glass half full. It's always looking at the dark cloud, and just turn around and you can see blue sky, but we don't. We're just staring at the one dark cloud. And I think that complaining absolutely does cloud our perspective, that we get stuck in this mode of it's all bad and it's all bad and it happens to me. And when that happens, that's when discouragement really can sneak in your life.
Yeah.
And discouragement, I say it all the time, often leads to
depression.
Good job. Wow.
Yes.
Your eyes got huge on that. Like, oh, no.
I did it.
It really does. Negativity can lead to discouragement, and discouragement ultimately will lead to depression if we're not careful.
And two, it's important to remember that good and bad can both come from the Lord. I mean, we just don't see an example in Scripture where there's nothing but, happy times in the life of a follower of Christ, or there's nothing but happy times in some of these biblical characters. It rains upon the just and the unjust. Like there's just no life in which, well, I'm a Christian, so my perspective is, if something's bad happening, I deserve to complain. The perspective is, if something's bad is happening, it might be from the Lord just as much as something good, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And there are times we all go through trials. It's funny. I was just dealing with one of our kids, and she was upset because she got a bottom locker and not a top locker this year in school. And that was
a big deal.
She was
That's
crying
a massive deal
about it.
Yeah,
she was upset. And I told her, I said, listen, it's a bummer. Like you've had a bottom locker now. This is like your third year in a row or whatever. And I know you wanted a top locker, but there might have been another girl that needed the top, and she's had a really horrible year, and this is a blessing in her life. And in order to bless her, you had to take a turn, kind of getting rained on, so to speak. And it wasn't a few days later, and in volleyball, she got moved up to the better team, and she got the position that she was really, really hoping for. And she couldn't believe it. She said, "Can you believe I got that position?" And I said, "Yeah, I can." Like I said, you see, I told you, you get the bottom locker. It's a bummer. Blessings are coming your way. Like you get good and you get bad, and life will balance out, and that's okay. And so it's that perspective of even when bad things are happening and we're so tempted to complain, this isn't fair, this isn't right, why did this happen to me? Sooner turn around and then you get something. And there were other girls that wanted that spot. And then, in order for her to get it, they had to take their hit. Yeah. So it's just that perspective really matters.
It does.
That as soon as you start complaining, that's when God will use that to say, your turn's coming.
Yeah. And our focus becomes our reality so often. And we have to once again readjust to, what is our focus on? Yeah. Is our focus on the good? Is our focus on the positive? Even learning through the hard times. Yeah. I love how you said, it is very tough to make it never complaining.
I know.
The problem comes in is when we live in that realm.
Yeah.
And so, Kari, you start us off with complaining clouds our perspective. It does. So what is the antidote? The antidote is the opposite, and that's living with just a grateful attitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude goes a long way. I love people that are very thankful.
Yeah.
I love getting text of people thankful for the church or a sermon or how we affected their lives. It's even great to get positive feedback on the podcast. Like, I love being around people who are just thankful, grateful. And it's often those people that do not live in a realm where they're focused on the negative, the bad, the complaining spirit.
Yeah.
And I think the antidote is they're just grateful. They're just very thankful.
Yeah, 100%. And the next thing that complaining does is it corrupts our relationships.
Yeah, wow.
Oh man, have we seen this? Just if you've got people that complain all the time, it's difficult to be around them.
It is for me. That is for sure. And I'm a complainer sometimes, and I don't even like living with me. I'm like, man, this is I got to change this. But
Yeah.
you are right. I think one of the hardest things about a complaining person, for somebody looking at the outside in, is it's very contagious. Complaining, if you're not a strong person, you get around someone who complains a lot and you can pick up on their vibes quickly.
Yeah.
I've worked in work environments, even in ministry, where you have one person where that's always negative. And you can put two or three positive people in that environment, and very quickly that negative person has an effect on the other. The work environment becomes very toxic. And I don't use that lightly like everyone else. It just does, because those complaints spread quickly. And all of a sudden people are being talked about. Nothing's going right. Oh, it's not my fault. Oh, yeah, it's the little whispers here and there. And it's
Yeah.
not a great atmosphere.
No.
And it does affect our relationships, homes, churches, workplaces. That negative really does spread quickly.
Yeah. We've seen that. I mean, even driving in the car with our kids, we've seen this
Oh,
so
man.
many times.
Yeah.
We'll say one thing like, oh, this construction, or, just complain about road conditions. And the next time we're in the car and, there's like an orange cone, one of our kids will say, like, oh, these roads, they're always working on them. We're like, why do you care? You're like 14. But it's just funny how
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
even being around kids or other people, people pick up on your vibe and they will mimic that. They will
Right.
copy that, especially if you're kind of the leader in
Oh,
whatever
my goodness.
situation
Yeah, it's so
at work
true.
or in the family. And we've laughed together. It's so funny to hear. And mostly when they were younger, they kind of aged out of that now and have their own opinions. But when they were like, 8, 9,
Yeah.
anything we said in the car, they memorized. I mean, they were just so quick to copy those behaviors.
Right.
And it was like,
Right.
oh man, we can't be gossiping, we can't be complaining, we can't be doing anything fun in this car.
Yeah.
It's
So
just quick.
here is with kids, but then also I would come back to workplaces, spouse, all those
Yeah.
kind of relationships. It's funny because two people can get together and they can find a lot of unity in complaining. Like they come together
that's
complaining
true.
about a boss, or a manager, a teacher. There's a lot of camaraderie there, and you brings us together. Why? We have something in common, and we can complain about them, and it makes us look good. And a lot of people will use a complaining spirit to kind of find unity. So let me just make this statement: the danger is, even though it may bring unity or camaraderie again with two people, staff, even a husband and wife, well, we can come together if we complain about so and so.
Yeah.
We hug. We're all buddy buddy because this is what we have in common.
Yeah.
We don't like them. We don't like the circumstances. It's not fair. The danger is it always brings disunity somewhere else. It's causing a mistrust. You might think, oh man, me and my kid, my teenager, we can have this in common. I want to build a relationship with him or her. So we'll complain about this individual. It does bring you together. The problem is it's building a mistrust with whoever you're gossiping or complaining about.
Right.
It's bringing disunity with a manager, a boss. I would go as far to say even a married couple where you have, I would say probably the strongest relationships is a daughter and a mom. And when they get together and complain, better not be complaining about me, even when they come together and complain, even though it's building unity with that mother-daughter, it's building disunity and distrust with the spouse that's being talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Or the teacher that's being gossiped about or
Yeah.
complained about. So I think there is a real danger there that although it's, man, we could really get together on this. It was so cool we got to talk because we don't like fill in the
Yeah.
blank. But also the opposite side of that is be very careful. It can be very dangerous.
It's an unhealthy way to bond.
It really is.
It really is. It's
Not a
healthy-
biblical way for
No,
sure, for
no.
sure. So the opposite here, once again, the antidote is encouragement. Complaining is going to tear somebody down. I think we ought to live in a realm, especially as Christians, we really need to encourage people.
Yeah.
People need to be built up. You're a master at this with our kids, but when they're in a complaining spirit, you are, I say our kids, even with me, you're so good at turning the tables.
Thank
You're
you.
so good at the encouragement comes in. You know what? You're doing a great job. No, you think about this and you turn it so quickly. You're really good at that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's you have to do that. Well, in our house we have a lot of people. And like you said earlier, it spreads. So when one person is having, a complaining spirit or negative attitude, it's just not long before you're dealing with now 3, now 4, and it
7.
it can just bring the whole mood down. And it really, this bleeds in our next point. Our next point is complaining cancels our progress. That is so true. You have a household or a ministry or a work life where things are going well. You get one person that is a complainer and starts to bring it down. It can cancel out so much good you've already done. And it
So
can
true.
set the tone back. It can set the progress back. It can set you back so far. And you end up thinking, how did we get here?
Yeah.
How did we get here as a family? How did we get here as a church? How did we get here as siblings? As work. What is that word when you work with someone? Work.
Coworker?
Yeah, coworker.
Oh, did I just help you out with a word?
Yeah, man, I drew
Wow.
a blank there. And you think all because of what? All because I couldn't handle my business
Yeah.
and couldn't keep my mouth shut and get over it. I had
Right.
to just let everybody know what an inconvenience or what a problem this was, and it just cancels out so much good.
It really does.
And that's really the antidote to that is just the one person to step in and say, hey guys, it's going to be okay. Let's just move on. Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going forward.
Right.
And that's really what it boils down to. You can be the person in the room that pushes everybody backwards and takes the room down and glum and moody, or you can be the person that is uplifting and saying, okay, you guys, it's tough right now. We're going to do it. We're going to push through. We're going to make it. We're going to be okay.
Right.
And it's really hard to do that. It's self-control.
Where's our energy and where is our focus?
Mm-hmm.
And if our energy and focus is going on to something that is tearing the mission down, the progress is being taken away, then we really do need to readjust.
Right.
And so often in our family, you're great at that. So often at church, I have to be good at that. We have to change that focus of, hey guys, we could complain about this building all we want, but this is what God's given us.
Mm-hmm.
We complain about the offering all we want. That's what came in.
Yeah.
At some point you got to change your focus to this. All this complaining is just taking our eyes and our focus off of the work that needs to be accomplished.
Right.
And the same is true with those who aren't in ministry, those who just are doing life and working jobs. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at. Readjust your focus to where it's not, you're gonna be miserable every day complaining about your job, every day complaining about, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I want to be a career woman. Okay, well, maybe that time will come, but if you live in that negative atmosphere, you are never going to enjoy the blessings that God has given in your life, right now. You're missing it.
Right. And honestly, like if you're listening to this in the United States, and I know I always go back to this.
I know.
It's because
good,
we're
it's good.
so well traveled. We've traveled so much, even since we were teenagers. And if you've never left the country or you've never left your state or whatever, you really need to, at some point, you need to go to another country and you need to see how other people live. It does not matter what we go through here. We've had some hard days. Even this week was difficult compared to our average week.
It was a tough.
But all we have to do is close our eyes and think about the missions trips we've taken.
Right.
I mean, pick one. We both have been on many. And pick one and just say, like, we woke up today, we had clothes to wear, we had food to eat. I didn't even think about what food to eat.
Right.
I mean, I literally went through Starbucks for breakfast. Like, you don't get easier than that. It was just, we're cool in our offices and we were warm outside. We had what we needed. And there's so many people that wake up and they don't have what they need.
Right.
And they wonder, how am I going to eat today? Or how am I going to feed my kids? There's people that wake up and they can't get out of bed without help. their health is suffering, and just to wake up and get dressed is difficult. I mean, there's so much to be grateful for. There really is. And then you look at the person that has that life, and it's like, well, you woke up today. Some people lost their husband or their wife in their 30s, and they wake up with no one. And it's just, there's always, 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 you can always find good. And I've talked to many people that I'm going through this hardest time. It's really hard to find the good. And I'm like, well, maybe you need to go to another country and just take a vacation and go outside the tourist zone, not alone, be safe. But God has put us in this culture, in this day, in this time, and we really are rich with blessings. If you live in America, that right there, I mean, we are very blessed.
Yeah.
And even if you don't and you live outside, we can all find something to be grateful for. And I think that alone, as simple as it sounds, as old-fashioned as it sounds, count your blessings, start rehearsing and repeating to yourself in your mind, this is a good thing. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for that. Say 3 or 4 things. You won't get very far in until it really does have an effect on your own spirit, on your own self.
It's really great. It's awesome. Well, I hope everybody can learn from this that it's difficult not to go through life complaining, but if we can learn to live with a life of contentment, finding joy, peace, happiness, especially for those who listen and are Christians.
Yes.
We find that in our Savior.
Yeah.
It's a great place to live.
That's right.
It really is. So tonight, I'm going to go the rest of the night and really try not to complain. I'm going to try to preach to myself. But
I'm right there with you, baby.
Hey, I hope y'all learned something this week. I hope that you have a great week. Thanks for listening. Give us a 5-star review and share this on YouTube. And we'll try to get that link out to you this week. And man, that Apple Podcast, Spotify, give it a share to somebody. Send it to them and say, stop complaining. Yeah. That's what you got to do. Hashtag stop complaining.
Not saying you're the complainer in my life, but maybe give a listen.
That's it. Awesome.
Have a great week.